Spider-Woman number 6 by Steve Foxe and Ig Wada. It's by far my most anticipated comic for this week. After the whole Gang War story happened, to include the family drama with Jerry Drew becoming the Black Mamba for Hydra, Jessica is ready for a change of scene. The Spider-Woman is taking her talent to San Francisco. Just in case you didn't know, Marvel released an anthology book titled Web of Spider-Man, in which they preview what's in the near future for every single Spider-themed book in 2024. Jessica Drew has a short story here where she is seen in San Francisco fighting crime. And there's a scene here that's a callback to something that Fox did back in, I want to say, Amazing Spider-Man 31, where she was fighting some goons that may or may not work for Hydra, and they were basically taking themselves out by biting on a cyanide pill on their molars. So she very abruptly pulls the molar out of this guy so he would do the same thing so she could interrogate them. Pretty cool stuff. But in that moment, she happened to be in front of an electronics store, I want to say, and she sees on the monitors, on the TVs, like a bunch of different heroes that may or may not be a new team of champions for maybe Jessica to lead or to be their team leader or just to fight them, because, you know, that's what heroes do when they don't know each other. They just fight. But seeing the Dark Angel of the Night, and yes, that's how she was called back in her days in California, back in the 70s and 80s in her original run. Seeing her in the streets of San Francisco fills me up with trust in the writer, because Jessica Drew has a lot of history in this city. Yes, ladies and gents, heroes fight crime outside of New York, believe it or not. With that being said, let me show you some key moments for Spider-Woman in the city of San Francisco. Spider-Woman number 33. Jessica visited San Francisco for the first time. Scotty, who was Jessica's guy in the chair, kind of like an Oracle before Oracle even existed. So in a way, Spider-Woman was ahead of her time in that sense. So Jessica and Scotty were bounty hunters, and, you know, they did that to earn a living because, you know, superhero fighting didn't pay when you was like going solo, I guess, back then. When they got a lead to a bad guy, Spider-Woman followed him to San Francisco. Jessica first checked out the Bay Area, and she absolutely fell in love with the city. In this issue, there's some of the best panel work that you ever seen in a Spider-Woman comic. That was done by my favorite Spider-Woman artist of all time, Steve Lealoha. Following that, we had Spider-Woman number 37. Jessica asked for a letter of recommendation to apply for a private investigator license. And who got her that letter of recommendation? Well, basically her first mentor in comics, Nick Fury. Spider-Woman also ran up on Siren during a robbery, and she beat the brakes off of Siren, but Juggernaut knocked her out cold, and they fled the scene. By the time the police arrived, they found only Spider-Woman on the scene. So, following that, on issue 38, she was arrested, but of course, she fled before she could be booked or anything like that. But just the fact that they arrested her and they make this splash page looking amazing like this by Steve Lealoha, of course, noteworthy. She later then met Aurora, Warren, and Peter. You may know them as, you know, the X-Men, Storm, Angel, and Colossus. They joined forces to stop Black Tom and his crew. When they ran up on Black Tom's crew, Jessica, of course, got the jump again on Siren. She even undressed and got butt naked to beat Siren. Crazy about battle tactics by Spider-Woman. And between Storm and Spider-Woman, they managed to stop Juggernaut with some crazy scene where they both of the heroes just unload all of their thunder and might to basically knock out Juggernaut, which we don't really know what happened because the entire boat or ship where this happened blew up. So that's how crazy they went on Juggernaut. By the end, they got very acquainted. They got acquainted with Jessica, and Jessica got acquainted with them. So from here on now, you can call Jessica an ally of the X-Men because, thanks to Chris Claremont, she actually has been featured in X-Men comics throughout this era. In the end of the issue, Jessica got her license and establishes her private eye business, which she kept after losing her powers, as seen in West Coast Avengers #1 when Tigra hired Jessica for her private eye skills. Later we have Avengers Annual #10. Jessica was gliding by the Golden Gate Bridge when Carol Danvers happened to be thrown to her death by Rogue. Best thing to happen to Carol was Jessica Drew. Jessica reached out to her X-Men friends to find out who, this random woman was. And Carol and Jess have been friends ever since. Spider-Woman #40. Spider-Woman faced the Flying Tiger in an airborne battle, which she lost since she could not fly per se, but only glide. And the Flying Tiger had the advantage. So Jessica took on Tai Chi training, which taught her how to use her opponent's momentum against themselves. And when she had the rematch with the Flying Tiger, she managed to defeat him with ease. She was actually playing with him, which was funny to read and watch. Spider-Woman #41. Jessica and her friend Lindsay attended a Camelot fair in Marin County. One of Jessica's rogues, Morgan Le Fay, made her return and actually transformed Marin County into Camelot. Everyone at the fair was under the control of Morgan, and they were feuding with Jessica. It wasn't until Morgan revealed herself that Jessica could actually fight her. She managed to shake Morgan off, but the people of Camelot was going after Lindsay, so Jessica chose to save her friend. Jessica had no choice but to Venom Blast everyone in attendance at the county fair at the same time with one single blast, which knocked out the hundreds of people under Morgan Le Fay's control. Then we have Marvel 2-in-1 #85. Spider-Woman was investigating a case in San Francisco that coincidentally happened to be related to a group of bad guys whom had a run-in with the Thing from the Fantastic Four. They ended up teaming up to solve the case and stop the bad guys. And during a fight with this bad guy called Adam, the Thing saw live in color how Spider-Woman's enhanced metabolism saved her from a radiation blast from the Atom guy. So, after stopping the bad guys, Ben asked Jessica if she could help his friend Bill Foster, you know him as Giant Man. Foster was dying, and Jessica's antibodies could save him, but there was a risk that she could have lost her powers. Ever the hero, Jessica didn't hesitate and decided to proceed with saving the fellow hero. Jessica's antibodies cured Bill Foster of cancer and saved his life, all in a day's worth. I think this is a good stopping point for now. These are the key moments of Jessica Drew, the Spider-Woman in the city of San Francisco, that I personally have read so far anyways. I'm excited to see my favorite hero back in the place where a lot of important lore started for their character. If you stayed this long, I want to thank you for watching. Have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.